What's up, people? I'm Shaggy, the opinionated hippie, and this is part 40 of my reviewing and ranking the guitar solos within the context of an album, specifically a Frank Zappa album. I'm going to talk about the album that is the 40th I'm talking about, and then I will show how that album ranks among the other 39 based on guitar solos only. And number 40, as you already know, is Jazz from Hell. And if you've ever listened to Jazz from Hell, you know there's only one guitar solo on Jazz from Hell. And so I was thinking at some point of like combining albums, like if they only had one solo or two, maybe do 2 or 3 albums at a time. But I thought, no, we'll keep this brief. But I thought, there is only one guitar solo on here, right? And it's worth mentioning and worth talking about because it is a fantastic guitar solo. But is there not, maybe, technically speaking, 2 guitar solos on this album? Is there not a guitar solo on this album that maybe just doesn't sound like a guitar solo, but actually in its very core and its very essence, actually a guitar solo? I'm going to say yes. But anyways, Jazz from Hell, this is the Synclavier, I always say that word wrong, album that Frank released back in 1986. 8 tracks, 8 of them are Synclavier pieces, so essentially he, programmed the music came out. In the liner notes, he points out that he wanted to include something from a live band to show the comparison between the machine and live music, which is interesting. As he loved the live music so much. And so he included a guitar solo as the 7th track called Saint Etienne, not French. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. A 6-minute and 26-second guitar solo from a Drowning Witch played in May of 1982 over Saint Etienne, France. So it is an actual guitar solo from that city, hence that's why it has the name. It is the slower, more like it's the doom doom doom, that doom 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 doom. Now I'm forgetting how many little beats it has. It's that slow, drawn out, sort of not as aggressive vamp from the Drowning Witch solos of the two. It is a very, I don't want to say low key is probably the wrong word, but it is a very just, the thing that came to mind every time I listen to this, because, I don't know, just ranking all these solos and listening to so many different solos, I'm about to drop that Zappa Eerie set, listening to those solos again and deciding how much I actually really, really love them. And so listening to these really aggressive, proggy type solos from 74 and then dropping a Saint Etienne in the mix, the thing that came to mind immediately was like Quentin Tarantino movies, right? And like all of those solos from 74 and other stuff I've been listening to, or like most of his catalog, and Saint Etienne is Jackie Brown. It's like the slow burner, super like a lot there, a lot to pay attention to, but it's also subtle. The character development is like top notch in Jackie Brown. Like some may even say that Jackie Brown is the best movie Quentin Tarantino ever made. Now, I'm not saying that Saint Etienne is the best guitar solo Frank ever played, but it's 6 minutes and 26 seconds of just pure. I recently received a comment on another video. It might have been like ranking the guitar solos, an older video, but a new comment. Just how like a guitar solo from Frank, like this person did not appreciate long guitar solos, but like a guitar solo with Frank was different because it felt more like a conversation. And Saint Etienne feels like a conversation, but it feels like he's almost describing to you the sort of like the plot of Jackie Brown. You're like, oh, what? She got arrested for what? And who is this guy? And oh my goodness. And I'm not going to give any spoiler alerts if you haven't seen the movie. It probably is best. But like you're there for every second of those 6 minutes and 26 seconds. And it never gets too crazy. Like towards the end, you can tell there's a little more action and the things that he's describing through his playing are maybe a little more violent or a little more chaotic. But the energy stays really pretty low key. Like Tunis and Wackerman are like, you can see they're trying to like go a little crazy, but they never really go out there. Like everything is really restrained and under control, but there's just this slow burning intensity to it. Yeah, just an absolutely fantastic guitar solo. Yeah, it's just really good. Of course, it ranks as number one on this. I'm not going to show you the ranking. Number one is Saint Etienne. But the reason I wanted to talk about, and the thing I alluded to earlier, was there is another track on here called While You Were Art 2, which is actually an arrangement of a track off Shut Up and Play Your Guitar While You Were Out. So While You Were Out, which is on Shut Up and Play Your Guitar, and albums I have not yet reviewed or ranked. I've reviewed, I just haven't ranked the solos yet. That's an intimidating project. While You Were Out was a solo that Frank played in the studio, I think with Cucurullo on rhythm guitar, and they were like jamming over a Vinnie Colaiuta drum track that had been previously recorded. I think that's the story behind While You Were Out. I know it's like a studio thing. Personally, I'm going to throw this ranking out there now. It's one of my least favorite tracks off that entire series. I think you can feel the lack of whatever Frank gets when he plays in front of an audience. Like, Frank has an ego and he wants people to, like, he needs that connection. And I think in the studio, without getting that immediate, like, just visceral feedback from another person, Frank's unable to, like, he just doesn't feel it. It's not bad, but it's definitely not, it's missing the raw essence of whatever makes a Frank Zappa solo incredible. And that's the way I feel about While You Are Out. It's an interesting little endeavor. Well, apparently somebody asked at some point, a college, at some point, a group of musicians, I want to say it was like Claremont, out of like somewhere in Southern California, but I may be wrong, commissioned Frank to write a piece, and it ended up being a sort of transcribed version of While You Were Out. And this is either the same transcribed version, just typed into in synclavier. It's about a minute longer than the original piece, but it essentially is a guitar solo. And like these tinkly little like beeps and high-pitched beeps on the synclavier that are like dominating most of While You Were Art 2. That's the sound of Frank's, like, I don't know if it was an acoustic guitar or just like a very clean electric, like a direct feed into the board or something. It's got a very clean sound, especially in the beginning, but it's got this very sound, and those little weird little noises you hear in While You Are 2 are all essentially a transcribed guitar solo. So it's a guitar solo. And considering the way the album is laid out, we're on side one, you have 4 songs on each side, and the third song on each side are essentially guitar solos, like song, guitar solo, song. You know, it is While You Were Art 2, so it is a synclavier interpretation of a guitar solo, but it's kind of a guitar solo. I would rank it second because the live one from May 82 during Drowning Witch, Saint Etienne, is played by a real band and is much better. But once I found out that While You Were Art 2 was this transcribed guitar solo, I don't know why, the whole thing became a lot more coherent and made more sense and made me enjoy the song more. And that was something that, it's just, I don't know, I think it's neat. So maybe if you want to hear what a guitar solo sounds like transcribed into a synclavier, because I'm pretty sure that's exactly what happened. I might be wrong. Correct me in the comments if I am. Pretty sure that's what happened. There's got to be some added music at some point because it's like a minute longer. I think towards the end. Things get kind of crazy towards the end of this version, synclavier. Anyways, it's an interesting listen. That's all I got to say. So anyways, that was really the reason why I thought I would give Jazz from Hell its own video, so I could talk for like 4 minutes on the intriguing possibilities of While You Are 2. I think what Frank failed to do, or maybe he was going to do at some point, I think really, personally for me, would have worked as an album, because I do appreciate the guitar solo in the middle of like side 2. I think if Frank had, like if Civilization Phase 3, if there were like, edit it down, right? Drop some of the weaker synclavier pieces, drop some of the weaker spoken word pieces. You drop 3 guitar solos on a side and just kind of give it a sort of shut up and play your guitar feel, where like one guitar solo is maybe something coming out of like the guts of a Black Page 2 and it's just super aggressive. You know, maybe you're dropping like some like 88 Inca Road somewhere else and giving us a nice light airier feel. Maybe you're dropping an Advanced Romance and we're just kind of gritty and bluesy. Like I think Frank had he had to have had so many guitar solos in the vault that he could have used, that I kind of wish that was something he had experimented with, like really seriously, and try to construct an entire album. Like there's a little bit of that on like the Synclavier piece, Porn Wars, you know, with like the Synclavier piece, and then you get some of some like live music dropped in, and like the recent well, that's Lumpy Gravy. That wasn't Synclavier stuff. Yeah, was there Synclavier stuff used on that horrible updated Lumpy Gravy when he did that update, which was, was that Lumpy? I'm confused. That was right. Anyways, no, I don't know what I'm talking about. But anyways, cut all that. It's a really interesting listen. I wish Frank had done more with guitar solos. So where would I rank it? If I had to rank it among the other 39, and I don't, but I'm going to, it's all the way at number 7. Yeah, right. It's ridiculous, right? But this is based on guitar solos only. And Chicago 78, all fantastic guitar solos, but there's a couple that maybe bring the average down slightly, oh so slightly. But the stuff on Ship Arriving Too Late is consistently better. And so Jazz from Hell, just as far as where it got on a rating scale, slides right in there above Chicago 78, because I really do think that Saint Etienne solo, and maybe it stands out more because if it's in the context of the Synclavier pieces, which, you know, I appreciate. Just, I don't know. I think it's a really special solo, and it shows Frank's really, really like his ability to just rein it in and be subtle for like 6.5 minutes. Just incredible playing. But anyways, yeah, it's a number 7. It's a great solo, man. Yeah. All right. That's all I got. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, share. Let me know what you think about Saint Etienne. Let me know about what you think about While You Are Art 2, all that other stuff. But anyways, thanks for watching. Peace. Talk to you later. Subscribe, share, comment.